Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is Wednesday, a beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness that Port Charles has delivered. Let's start with the absolute heartstopper that was the ending of Monday's episode, carrying over into today. Anna Devane and Valentine Cassadine trapped in that elevator, and I am losing my mind. The tension in that confined space was so thick, you could literally cut it with a Cassadine dagger. Valentine is looking at her with those piercing, soulful eyes, begging to know what is really going on behind her walls. And Anna is just standing there, vibrating with this impossible temptation. Is she going to tell him about the Peter August hallucination? Is she just going to grab him by the lapels and kiss him? I have so many feelings about this. I have been watching Anna navigate these treacherous international spy games and devastating personal tragedies for years. And this is without a doubt the most fragile, broken, and vulnerable we have ever seen her. Peter August is dead. He is gone. But he is living rent-free in her head, poisoning her every thought, whispering these dark, twisted, murderous suggestions into her ear. And Valentine? He loves her. He clearly still cares for her despite his romance with Carly, but he is completely in the dark about her mental state. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up and look at the context here. Anna has been carrying this crushing psychological weight for weeks. The WSB trauma, the Windermere captivity where she was gaslit and tortured, the absolute horror of being made to question her own sanity. It has broken her in ways that she refuses to admit to anyone, let alone herself. So when Valentine corners her in that elevator and asks her what is wrong, you can see the absolute desperation in her eyes. She wants to unburden herself. She desperately wants to confess that she is losing her grip on reality and that the ghost of her nephew is pushing her to commit murder. But she doesn't, because Anna Devane is a fortress. She would rather suffer in silence and let her mind fracture than drag the man she loves, or wait, the man she used to love, or maybe still loves. It's so complicated right now into her psychological nightmare. Am I the only one screaming at the screen for her to just tell him? I know some people are loving this dark, hallucination-driven, rogue Anna storyline, but personally, it breaks my heart. Remember when she kept the truth about Peter's paternity a secret for years? Yeah, didn't work then either. It blew up in her face in the most spectacular way possible. And this is gonna blow up too. She is going to end up doing something unforgivable if she doesn't ask for help. Speaking of things blowing up, let's pivot over to the MetroCorp pool. Because wow, Carly and Jason. Jason, the man of few words, the legendary enforcer who just officially quit the mob to focus on his son Danny, is suddenly dishing out profound, life-altering parenting pep talks. I am here for it, but I am also so incredibly stressed. Carly is an absolute wreck about Josslyn's decision to stay in the WS. And honestly, I don't blame her. We all know what happens to people who get tangled up in the bureau. Look at what happened to Anna. Look at what happened to Jason himself at that black site in Jakarta. Carly has already lived through the unimaginable pain of losing Morgan. The thought of losing Josslyn to a rogue bullet or a WSB cover-up is tearing her apart. But Jason, in his classic, grounded, stone-cold way, looks Carly right in the eye and tells her to take a breath. He reminds her that Josslyn has one massive, undeniable advantage that Anna Devane never had. Carly. Josslyn has a fierce, protective, unstoppable mother who will burn the entire world down to keep her safe. It was such a beautiful, poignant moment. I mean, I've been watching these two since the 90s, and their dynamic is just unmatched. They understand each other on a cellular level. But is Carly actually going to let this go? Not a chance. Carly is going to obsess over this until she finds a way to intervene. Let's take a deeper dive into Jason's evolution here, because it is truly staggering. The Jason we knew years ago would have handled this WSB threat with a gun and a calculated hit. But the Jason who returned from that black site in Jakarta is fundamentally changed. He has stepped away from Sonny's mob empire. He is prioritizing Danny. And when he speaks to Carly at the pool, he isn't just offering empty platitudes. He is speaking from a place of profound, hard-won wisdom. He knows what it feels like to be a pawn in a global conspiracy. He knows the toll it takes on the soul. By telling Carly that Josslyn has her support, Jason is essentially passing the torch of protection. He is acknowledging that Carly's fierce maternal love is a stronger shield than any weapon he could wield. It is a beautiful character growth moment, but it also highlights the tragic reality that Josslyn is walking into the very darkness Jason just escaped. The irony is palpable, and it makes Carly's fear all the more agonizing. And she has every reason to be obsessed, because Josslyn isn't just staying in the WSB. She is actively deceiving everyone around her in the most dangerous way possible. She has just accepted the CEO position at Jasper Jacks Enterprises. On paper, to the rest of Port Charles, It looks like she is leaving the dangerous spy life behind to honor her father's legacy and run the family business. But we know the truth. It is a cover. It's her next WSB mission, and she is lying straight to Hudson Parker's face about it. Hudson is standing there, quizzing her about her sudden change of heart, and Josslyn is spinning this elaborate, calculated web of lies. I can't believe they did that. Putting Josslyn undercover in her own father's company? It is brilliant, but it is so terrifyingly dangerous. Hudson Parker is not an idiot. He is a mysterious businessman who was just busted, lurking around the Quartermain estate, hunting for info on Delilah Wilson's baby. He is already highly suspicious. He knows something is off with Josslyn's story. And Josslyn is playing a very dangerous game with a man who has his own shady, hidden agenda. I am dreading the moment Hudson figures this out. Josslyn thinks she is invincible right now because she took down Ross Cullum, but she is swimming with sharks. I mean, let's really think about Hudson Parker for a sec. Who is this guy? He shows up, he's lurking around the Quartermain estate, he's hunting for Delilah Wilson's baby, and now he is suddenly breathing down Josslyn's neck at Jasper Jack's Enterprises? The man is a walking red flag. And Josslyn is just standing there, looking him dead in the eye, and selling the story about honoring her. Jasper Jacks would probably have a heart attack if he knew his company was being used as a front for the WS. But Josslyn is so deep in this spy persona now. Ever since she took down Ross Cullum on Spoon Island, she thinks she can outsmart anyone. But Hudson isn't just some random thug. He is calculated. If he uncovers her WSB ties, he could use that as leverage, not just against her, but against Carly, against Jason, against the whole family. I am literally biting my nails waiting for the other shoe to drop. And if we are talking about swimming with sharks and dangerous games with the WSB, we absolutely have to discuss Liesl and Britt West. I am sweating. Liesl tracks Britt down, and you can hear the sheer, unadulterated panic in her voice. You cannot, under any circumstances, put yourself in their debt. Chills. Actual chills ran down my spine. Liesl Obrecht is a woman who fears absolutely nothing. She has faced down mobsters, serial killers, and international terrorists. But she is terrified of the WSB. She knows exactly what they are capable of. She knows how they use people, chew them up, and spit them out. And Britt is poking the bear. She is working with Anna Devane to dig up intel on Cash's face. I mean, Britt, honey, what are you doing? Have we learned nothing from the fake Huntington's disease nightmare? The saline syringes? The Tortola arrest? The WSB almost got Britt killed, and now she is willingly stepping back into the crosshairs to investigate her own brother. Liesl is right to be terrified. I know Britt wants answers. I know she needs closure on Cash's posing as Nathan West and destroying James's heart. But this is a fatal mistake. The WSB does not do favors. If Anna gets this intel for Britt, Britt will owe the Bureau, and that is a debt paid in blood. Okay, back to the point. Let's pivot to the hospital hallways, because Ric Lansing is out here doing what Ric Lansing does best, ruining his own life. I am so frustrated with this man. I've been a fan of Ric's complex dark storylines for years. I love a good flawed character, but his toxic jealousy is just exhausting right now. He spots Elizabeth and Dante looking awfully close again, and what does he do? He jumps to the absolute worst conclusion. He assumes they are heading down the path to romance. Ric, they are just friends. Dante had his pants off at her house because of a knee injury. It was a medical misunderstanding. But Ric cannot see past his own deep-seated paranoia and insecurity. He is spinning out, having a complete meltdown, and seeing red everywhere he looked. He is so terrified of losing Elizabeth that he is actively pushing her away with his possessive behavior. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it is agonizing to watch. And the kicker? The absolute irony of it all? Lulu actually tries to help him. Lulu, who has her own massive drama to deal with the fact that Rocco shot Cullum, the fact that Jason took the fall, the fact that Carly was hiding Valentine in her attic, takes the time to give Ric some solid, grounded relationship advice. She tells him he sounds ridiculous. She pushes him to settle down, to trust Liz, and warns him that if he doesn't get his jealousy under control, he is going to be the one who sabotages his future with her. Does Ric listen? Of course not, because Ric is his own worst enemy. Remember when he tried to lock Carly in a panic room? Or his endless, obsessive vendettas against his brother Sonny? The man cannot accept happiness. He has to destroy it. And watching him spin off the rails and plot to ruin Liz and Dante's innocent bond is just maddening. I want to reach through the screen and shake him. Elizabeth has been through enough trauma. She does not need Ric projecting his toxic insecurities onto her. I mean, let's really analyze Ric's psychological profile for a sec. The man sees Elizabeth, the woman he claims to love, simply existing in the same room as Dante, and he loses his mind. Dante is Lulu's ex. Dante is Rocco's father. Dante is a good guy who just happens to have a knee injury and needed some help. But Ric's brain immediately goes to betrayal. It is so textbook Ric. He is so terrified of being abandoned that he creates the very circumstances that lead to his abandonment. Lulu tried to throw him a life. She literally handed him the blueprint on how not to screw this up. Settle down, Ric. Don't sabotage your future. And he just ignores her. It makes me wonder if Ric is ever going to change. We've watched him cycle through these toxic patterns for decades. Part of me wants to see him find redemption, but the other part of me just wants Elizabeth to run for the hills. She deserves peace, not a man who treats every male friendship like a threat to his existence. Finally, let's talk about the one bright, shining spot of pure joy in this episode. Lucas Jones and Joe Fitzpatrick. Can we talk about this? The double-booked lease at the Marina Towers condo was such a classic, cheesy soap trope, but the payoff is pure gold. Lucas actually fought off Joe thinking he was an intruder, arms flailing, shouting in the dark. It was hilarious. But now, they are sitting there, smiling at each other, and Lucas assures Joe that he thinks this temporary roommate arrangement could work out well for both of them. I am smiling just typing. The chemistry is palpable. Sparks are absolutely flying. After all the trauma Lucas has been through, with Marco Rios dying for nothing, and the immense guilt he's carried over the saline syringe fake-out, he deserves some happiness. He deserves a win. And Detective Joe Fitzpatrick is such a solid, grounded, handsome guy. I know some people are skeptical of this pairing, but personally, I am so here for it. Roommates to lovers? Yes, please. Give me all the domestic fluff. We need a break from the heavy WSB conspiracies and mob wars, and Lucas and Joe navigating a tiny condo together is exactly the kind of lighthearted romance I am craving. But honestly, looking at the big picture of Port Charles right now, everything feels like a powder keg waiting for a match. You've got Josslyn lying to Hudson Parker while undercover at JJE. You've got Carly terrified for her daughter's life, while Jason tries to keep her grounded. You've got Anna Devane losing her mind to Peter August's ghost while Valentine stands there completely oblivious. You've got Britt Westbourne playing with WSB fire despite Liesl's desperate warning. And you've got Ric Lansing actively detonating his own relationship with Elizabeth out of pure unadulterated jealousy. It is a masterpiece of messy, complicated human drama. I am dreading what comes next for some of these characters, but I am also entirely glued to my screen. The writers are weaving these intricate webs of deception, and when the truth finally comes out, because in Port Charles, the truth always comes out, the fallout is going to be biblical. Will Anna's dark secret destroy her, or can Valentine pull her back from the edge before it's too late? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below, and hit subscribe so you never miss an update.